I remembered I had hands to catch my fall.
I was just
You were
timber.
like,
Timber.
right. I can't look inside myself and face what's going on because that motherfucker is ugly. Dating a man or dating a boy, and he told a
I
rumor.
want to be punky.
No, you don't.
Hello, and welcome to Pissy But Pretty, a show about hindsight, hope, tangents, and cuss words. We are your hosts, party tricks turned semi-responsible women. I am Heather Karen.
And I'm Emily Bagan.
Pissy But Pretty, episode
69.
Oh, no.
Dinner for two.
Terrible view. Can you imagine if we had 69 episodes? People.
I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to dress up for that.
I don't think people like us that much.
Oh,
We'll
I don't
see.
care.
Yeah.
I still just want to talk about it. I have a
Yeah.
fucking microphone. I can do what I want.
Yeah, that's true. Listen to me. I'm important. I got a microphone and business cards.
Episode 6.
Episode 6. Here we go. Where did we leave
Carrying
off?
on. We're
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Now we're going into, we'll talk about our party days, but we'll talk about food addiction.
Yep.
So with my large self.
Large and in charge.
In charge, Marge. So I think I started letting myself get super duper bad. After I got married. I was 30. My husband was 36. We had a rough go of it. The first 4 years were kind of like the years we always say, if we could make it through that, we can make it through anything.
Yeah.
So we got married in June of 2008. And
I was not there.
you were not there. I can't even get over that. Isn't that weird?
I was an addict.
Yeah.
I was an addict at
It's
that time.
all right.
Yeah.
Becca was going to be there, but she texted me the night before. So anyways.
Yeah.
I know, follow my
Not in
brain.
your head.
Follow my brain, will you?
Okay.
So, and we found out like 2 months after we got married, my parents sat us all down, the 5 of us kids, our spouses or significant others at the time, and told us that in May, the month before we had gotten married, that my dad had been diagnosed with ALS. He had been slurring his words a lot, and he just always said like his tongue felt thick.
Yeah.
And I remember him like saying that he didn't want to give a speech at the wedding because he didn't want people to think he was really drunk because of the way he was talking.
Sure.
And like you could understand him if you knew him well, but he was afraid people wouldn't be able to understand him. So he had thought, or my mom had thought he possibly had a stroke. So they took him in the month before our wedding and ended up not being a stroke, diagnosing him with ALS. And they wanted to wait till after we got married to tell us, which I appreciate. And then 2 months after they told us about his diagnosis, or it might have been the month later. Anyways, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So my husband and I decided at the time we were going to wait to try to have kids, but let's do this while our parents are still here and whatever. We ended up having a tough time conceiving. Never thought we would. My husband had 2 girls already, so it just was what it was. And so after about 2 years of trying, we started going to see a fertility doctor, all of that good stuff. Finally, we get pregnant. We decided, though, in doing this, because it's so flippin' expensive, and Wisconsin is, at the time, was one of 5 states that didn't require their insurance to cover.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, infertility. So we had decided it was so important to us that we were going to spend our savings in trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So expensive. So unfortunately, when I was 5 months pregnant, my mother-in-law lost her battle with pancreatic cancer. Then my Dad passed away when Parker was 10 months
Yep.
old. So they got to meet. It was awesome. We have lots of pictures of him sitting on my dad's lap as a baby, rolling him around in the wheelchair. So cute. Then,
2 devastating diseases,
yeah,
devastating losses.
yeah.
Yeah. With good stuff happening in between.
Yeah, right. It was
It's a
an
lot,
emotional
though.
roller
It's a
coaster for
lot.
sure.
That's a lot.
But then while all of this was going on, economy took a crash,
Yep.
all of that.
Oh,
My
yeah,
husband lost
yeah.
his job,
Yeah.
and here we were, new house, pregnant. I was 2 weeks pregnant. Found out I was pregnant 2 weeks later. My husband loses his job.
Jesus.
It kind of ended up being a blessing in disguise. His dad had passed away when he was 15.
Yeah.
So, and he's an only child.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to stay with his mom while she was on hospice. So,
Because he lost his job.
because he
Yep.
lost his job.
Got it.
So, little silver lining was he was able to be there with her. I was still working, but I had just started renting a chair.
Yeah.
So I was still trying to get my business up and running. And unfortunately, we ended up losing our home, going on food stamps. I mean, as I'm pregnant, as all of this is happening, actually, I think we ended up losing our home after Parker was born because it takes a while for them to take it from you.
Yeah.
But, had we known Digger was going to lose his job, would we have spent our savings on fertility treatments? Heck no. But we also wouldn't have our son.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, everything does happen for a
Yes.
reason.
Yeah.
It ends up working out. But I think in all of that, the constant disappointment, the loss of my dad, the loss of my mother-in-law, the loss of money, the loss of our home, the eating became
Yeah.
unreal. The drinking became unreal.
Yeah.
We would find comfort in just like we had this road together,
Yeah.
but we also like found comfort in food. He got bigger than ever.
Yeah.
He was drinking more than ever. He also is a very social person.
Yeah. He is.
And together we would go out and be like,
Bigger
have a
than
couple
life.
drinks.
Yeah.
And then we never wanted to go home.
Right.
We loved a good party.
Yeah.
So
Even
yeah.
if it wasn't that good of a party.
Yeah.
You guys partied like it was.
Yeah. We made it good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, and I remember like being like, oh, I'm going to go on a diet. And then I could really go for some ice cream.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, where do you want? I'll go get it.
Right.
And that's such a catch-22 for a man, right? Like, you're not supposed to let me have ice cream.
Right.
But if you were to deny me,
Yeah.
too.
What are you saying? I'm fat?
Yeah, right? So, yeah, the constant feeling worthless, the constant disappointment, the just hard situation life was at that time. I let my weight go. I let my drinking go. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's when I became the worst of the worst.
And I just like a thought, we sort of reconnected then.
Yep.
Like Jonah was born in 2010.
Yep. And I remember seeing him when you came home from the hospital. Yep.
Yeah. And the 4 of us, you and your husband, me, and now my husband, became very close.
Yep.
And we drank these bars dry.
Oh, do you remember ordering shots? My dear friend Tori, I love you. She's so patient.
Yes, she is.
I remember we were out one night,
Yeah.
so hammered.
Yeah.
And I said, Tori, we need some fireball shots. She goes, what's wrong with the ones in front of you?
Right. They were lined up, just lined up. And we were
Oh my
going
God.
insane.
That was such a fun
Insane.
night. And
It
your
was so
poor
fun.
husband had to get on a flight to Belgium the next day. How he
did, for
did
work.
that.
I-
That's because he's younger.
and I broke my thumb. Oh yeah, he's younger than
Yeah. You woke up with
fell.
crazy bruises.
I fell again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I busted
okay.
my thumb. It's never been the same.
You got a trigger finger
I
now?
can't even hitchhike. Ridiculous.
Nobody wants to pick you up. Yeah, they do. I would. I would.
You fucking would,
Do you have a
too.
car seat in there for me?
I do. 5-point harness.
Yeah. You need one.
It's the height, not the weight.
Right. But yeah, we would. So our partying days. Have I told my favorite Emily story?
Have you told that? I don't know. I don't think you have. Maybe you have. Pour some sugar on me.
We were.
Oh my God.
My favorite Emily story. We weren't married, young 20s. We were at the bar.
Yeah. It was one of my visits back to Oconomowoc.
Yeah.
One of my visits.
And we thought we were Coyote Ugly.
I was.
Dancing on the bar. And I don't know, in my head, this is how it went. We are dancing on the bar, and Emily dances herself right off the bar.
I did.
And I feel
Double fisting.
like everything went quiet.
It was crickets.
Like,
oh my
the
God.
music stopped, and all of a sudden everyone's like, and you just stood up.
I had 2 beers.
2 beer bottles. You
Yep.
didn't even spill them. I have
Not a
never
drop.
been more proud of you in my life. And
It was a long way for me to fall.
oh my gosh.
It was the bar, and we were doing Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, and I'm just like, shoop. I landed on my knees. Somebody tried to touch my armpits
it
and
wasn't
pick me
your
up, and it was so sweaty.
face, like
it wasn't my
me.
face. No, I had to protect my beer.
Oh my God.
I did it. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And I looked at Rebecca, and I'm like, I'm fucking mortified. She's like, and that was it. And we were on
it was
with our
like,
day.
that was just Emily. That was just Emily.
Yeah. Yeah, I fell down a lot.
Yeah, but at least you didn't break your moneymaker. When I would fall,
I remembered I had hands to catch my fall.
I was just
You were
timber.
like,
Timber.
right.
Yeah, fell right going out the bar once, had road rash all over my face.
Busted teeth.
Busted my teeth up, had to get,
You looked like Lloyd Christmas.
oh my God. At least I didn't lose any, but I did have to get a crown. I had a bunch of cracks in my teeth. Oh God, why didn't I remember I had
Black
hands?
eyes. Bleeding, bloody. I remember the pictures you used to send me like the next day. And I'd be like, when the hell did that happen? But we never stopped drinking.
Yeah.
At least I never did. And it just, the party kept going. And I know we would separate, and I think we would still keep partying. And we would get those pictures of busted hands, broken bones, bruises that we didn't know where they came from.
Oh God, no. I remember finding pictures in my phone the next day, and we were having so much fun.
So much fun.
Until the next day, and anxiety set in.
4-day hangovers, the stress, and
So what did I
panic
do?
attacks.
What did I say?
Yep.
You know how they say the truth comes out when you're drunk?
Sure.
For me, that might have been true up until a point,
Yeah.
but then I would make shit up. I would act a fool, and I would make up stories.
I love that.
Oh my God, you can't believe a word I say when I'm drunk. I don't know. I
That's
think
hilarious.
I am.
I couldn't
the
tell you a
cat's
damn
meow.
thing. Okay. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was really funny. But I always forgot that I was with someone, my friends. I would forget that I was in a relationship. I think that was sort of, that was a huge pattern for me.
Oh,
Sex was
God.
an addiction as well, because I felt so in control
Yes.
when I did what I wanted with my body. So
Yes.
it was, I was not a good, faithful person back when I was drinking. I was a mess. I was a mess.
Well, and Digger would always say, my husband, if I haven't said that before,
Kevin.
he would always say I would get so flirty when I was drunk.
Yeah.
And I think because that was always just the old me seeking for attention from anyone or everyone that would give it to me.
Right.
So, yeah, I could be so disrespectful. And we would be so mean to our poor husbands.
Yes. It got to the point where Rick, my husband, would know exactly what I was going to say, what I was going to start accusing him of on the ride home. You know, because that's what drunks are.
Yeah.
I mean, addicts, I suppose, to an extent, and I mean this with the utmost respect, are a little pathetic. They're a little woe is me.
It's
There's
always
some
somebody
shit going
else's
on. Yeah, there's
fault.
some shit going on, and you've got to blame. I can't I can't look inside myself and face what's going on because that motherfucker is ugly.
Mm,
And I'm going to blame you, and it's going to be
mm-hmm.
you, it's going to be my
I'm
friends,
going to
it's going to be
project
her
it
friend, it's
onto
going to be
you.
everybody. It was everybody else's fault that I was a mess. It
Mm-hmm.
was horrible. It was
Yep.
horrible.
Yep.
You have to take that accountability. And
Yeah.
I think that is the reason why that cycle for both of us lasted so much longer. You've got to face it head on, and you got to beat the shit out of it.
And I don't like that,
No.
Heather. I don't like the things I used to do. It's embarrassing. It's gross. It's mean. It's
Yeah.
literally like I think now, I mean, and Digger will even say this. For me, having sex was a drunk thing.
Oh, of course. I
Like,
never had sex sober. I
I
had
know.
never once in my life until I was pregnant with my child at 30 years old had I ever had sex sober.
Yeah. I could probably, I think there are two men, one of which being my husband, that I have had sex with sober. And
Well,
that's crazy sad.
because we've got sexual problems.
I mean,
I mean, back in the day, you know,
yeah.
this, you were raped. This was horrific. This was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was molested. It was something violating
Yeah.
and awful with something that's supposed to be so wonderful and
Yeah.
natural. So I didn't know how even.
Right. Well, and my relationship with men has always been horrible. Like
Oh, mine's fabulous.
my just,
Very popular.
yeah, right. Like I just feel like it started, for instance, when I was like freshman or sophomore, I remember this guy asking me out, and he was like a big baseball stud. My dad was really into baseball. So when I told him that this senior had asked me out, my dad was so excited because this
Really?
big baseball star had asked me out.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to come over to my parents' house and we'll watch a movie? And I'm like, yep, anything but a scary movie. Dude rented Hand That Rocks the Cradle, probably from the Blockbuster.
Family Dollar. No,
Yeah,
Family Video.
family video. And we're
I've never
in
seen that. I don't know. Is it scary?
Hand That Rocks the Cradle. You've never
Sure.
seen it?
No.
Rebecca De Mornay.
No.
God, it's so good.
Okay.
So good. You got to see it.
Scary.
But yeah, scary. And I remember we're in his parents' basement and we're like having a makeout sesh. And I'm like straight out of
Tongue
St.
sex.
Paul's. Yeah. And I'm like straight out of St. Paul's and he tries going up my shirt. I stop him and he immediately turns off the TV and is like, I'm taking you home now.
Oopsies.
And that was that. And then I remember going to a school dance with a friend of mine. Him and I went to St. Paul's together. And he ditched me at the dance. We were on a double date with my friend and her boyfriend. Ditched me at the dance for a girl that he liked, which fine, I wasn't interested in him. He was interested in this other girl.
Yeah.
But you ditched me.
Right.
So we tried ditching him, leaving the dance and walking to my friend's house to go hang out. Well, he comes running out. He's like, Heather, you can't leave me. Our moms would be so mad. So he comes back to my friend's house, and then he tries making out with me and stuff like right after that. I don't know
Yeah.
if he thought he was going to get busy,
Right.
but like you couldn't give me any attention at the dance in
Right.
public. And now that we're not there, like
Yeah.
gross. And then,
That's hilarious. I was the yes girl. And I thought it was empowering. I thought this is my choice. So I never said no.
oh my
Never said
gosh.
no. And I thought it was the shit. And I thought that made me so powerful to be in control of my sexuality with people. So, I mean, obviously, I never said no. It was disgusting. I preferred the one night stands to be men that were married. There's the shower, there's the towel, get out of my house. When in reality, it is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You are a doormat.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was a doormat.
And I just feel like, yeah, like I always just thought you were wanting something from me. I was like seeing a guy my senior year of high school. he tried to have sex with me. I wouldn't have sex with him. And then he like didn't want to talk to me anymore either. And I went up to college and I remember this guy, this was really dumb. Girls don't do this. At a house party, this guy I didn't know offers to walk me home. He was like friends of friends.
Sure.
He walked me back to the dorm and the next day we had sex.
Okay.
He had told everyone that we had had sex. And I was like, well, that didn't happen because I'm
Right.
still a virgin.
Yeah.
And I remember putting him in his place at another house party. I went up to him to respectfully, I'm like, can I talk to you outside? Pull him outside. And I'm like, what are you telling people? Why are you telling people that you know that didn't
You
happen?
were that girl.
Oh, I was
You're
gonna.
like a sitcom show.
Oh my
There's always that, like
God.
Punky Brewster dating a man or dating a boy, and he told a
I want
rumor.
to be punky.
No, you don't.
But I was like,
Soleil
what do
Moon
you, yeah.
Okay.
She was so cool.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know that didn't happen. And he tried to punk me actually by walking in and because he was like, I'm really sorry. I don't know why I said that. But then as we're walking in, he starts like yelling at me. What I didn't know was like
Oh.
my close guy friends were like watching out the window and they were like, oh, no, no, no. Don't you come in here
Yeah.
acting a fool when Heather just had you making snow angels outside. And so, like, I just always felt like guys only wanted one thing from me.
They did.
And I hated that feeling.
Oh.
And so
I loved it.
then I think I don't know why.
felt so special.
Like I wasn't gonna let you have that. I wasn't gonna let you win. I wasn't
Sluts
gonna
are
let you
cool.
win my badge.
I did. I gave it to everybody. Maybe that's why we fell out of touch. You just wouldn't put out.
Well, if you would have asked, all you gotta do is ask.
No, I never did. I never did.
But yeah, like I just, so I think when I got drunk then I was like, well, maybe this guy,
Okay.
if I finally give them what I know they want,
Right.
maybe this will work. And it was always
Vicious
like,
cycle.
ugh, hurry up and get dressed and let me go home.
Oh, I was the best at it.
Oh God. I would be
Or
like,
at least I think I was. I really know.
but it was like something about the sober sex. It would turn you into an acrobat and
The
like
drunk sex?
drunk sex.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say sober sex?
You said sober sex.
Oh, I'm sorry. Drunk
Yeah.
sex. Drunk sex made me like
You were flexible. You were nimble. You
didn't
had
care what
stamina,
was sagging where, what was like
just sweating
oh,
on them.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
Ugh.
Let me spit in your mouth. All right.
But
All
then
right.
don't you think like sometimes I think now I was black out what?
Sorry, I don't know. I said, let me spit in your mouth.
Oh, did you? I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry about
Shit
that.
got
Spit
weird.
in your mouth. Ew.
It's drunk sex. We do whatever.
Okay.
There's so many holes.
Anyways.
Where's my ear sticky? Huh. Whoops.
But I just like now when I
your
think about it.
Hi. Sure.
Was it a
Is that your
throuple
girlfriend?
moment? Okay. Girl on girl. But don't you wonder, like, I think of like blackout Heather.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, why would you want to have sex with that girl? Like, I mean, it was gross. I would probably
is
like
insane to me.
vomit off the side of the
Ew.
bed.
You weren't a puker, were you? I was
Usually the next morning is
yeah.
when I would. But like, I think about like,
Yeah, but we don't know how we were when we were blackout drunk. This is something that I
Yeah.
had to get square with. With my therapist, it was something my husband now had to kind of get square with. I will never remember that.
yeah.
I don't know who blackout Emily was. I don't know. And I did it every single time.
Yeah.
So you might have been a star.
I have a feeling I was more like
You were a
missionary.
porn star. Oh,
I don't know.
thinking about the ceiling?
Like, I mean, I can't imagine if I could barely walk. Like, I mean, there are some times that I am sure, like,
Yeah, you
I
just gotta
can
wiggle
remember
a
bits
little.
and pieces and be like, oh, yeah, that was fun. I was like spinner on that sucker. But then there are some
Circus
times where
sex.
it was circus sex. But then there are some times where it's like, I couldn't have been that great. Like, why were you not turned off by me? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I said
doubt-
no at all.
Right, no.
I probably wasn't talking much at all.
That doubt was
I probably
never
pissed in your
my
bed.
brain. You peed?
Well,
Are
I'm
you a
sure.
peer, a tinkler?
Dude, you know my bladder's very weak. And especially once you break the seal.
You just tell him you're a squirter.
Oh.
And you're welcome. That just made him feel so good about himself.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Things are damp.
You're welcome.
Things are damp.
You are welcome for my low, low standards.
What's your name again? Like it matters.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for the ride. In both ways.
Boop, boop.
The ride home and, the ride.
Ew.
Yeah.
We were good at it. I'm sure we were. I don't know. I don't know.
I would like to think I was because, man.
I can't go down like that rabbit hole of who I was when I was blackout drunk. I can't think about how awful it might have been,
I know.
how sloppy and gross and just icky.
I like to say I don't regret anything, but if I could go back and redo some things knowing what I know now, it's
not a thing. I wouldn't
oh
change a thing.
God.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know. I definitely don't think I would allow myself to feel so worthless. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
But you are who you are today because you were
That's
worthless.
true.
Because you
true.
felt you were worthless. And that is the point and purpose of giving us microphones, is that redemption. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't have to define who you are for the rest of your life, for sure.
No.
Yep. All right, and that's it for episode 6.
6.
I forgot to put my necklace on. We're sorry they had to stare at my non-necklace.
I had a pearl necklace.
I just found out what that means. No, I know what it means, but not okay.
Multiple.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for letting us tickle your ear hole and not turning us off after the first 30 seconds. Don't forget to subscribe and join our email list to get in on the action.